Hello friends, Teacher Julian here. Today we're going to make things to play with out of items that you can find in your own home. The first thing we're going to make is a sensory table or a sensory box. I had this laying around the house, and today we're going to use popcorn. I had a bunch of popcorn laying around the house. In our sensory box, we can put a cup to scoop, funnel, and maybe some items to put inside there. I used some Pokemon erasers that I had laying around, and I made a little pair of tweezers out of 2 popsicle sticks that I taped together with another little piece wedged inside there. I can use this as a fine motor grabbing tool. If you don't want to make one of these, you don't have popsicle sticks, perhaps the barbecue tweezers or tongs. They might be a little bit big for your hands, but you can give them a try. Picking these things out. And what's nice about this is you put the lid on and lock it when you're done, put it away. You want to remind your friends that are playing to keep all of the contents inside of your sensory box. If they go outside, a gentle reminder to say, oh, remember, keep the items inside the box. And then if they keep doing it, then remind them, hey, if it falls outside, it's your responsibility to pick it up. And then, once again, when you're done, put the lid on top and put it away. So, remember the lid I was talking about for our sensory table? It can also be used as a tray to work on. So, I found some nuts and bolts in my toolbox. With these, you can have the children put them together, and these are all fine motor skills that they can work on. Putting these things on. So all these things right here you can have to play with, make things out of. I found these really cool square nuts and these small little screws or bolts to put in here. These are all, again, fine motor skill, and it's nice to make things out of. Right here in my little thing was a little magnetic thing for a back of a pen or something, and you can use these for picking things up. This is just in my tool bag. So another thing that I found were a bunch of these pipe connectors and some PCV pipe. So these are great to put together. You can make some things things I don't know how to do. There you go. Yeah, like that, and maybe another connector over here. If you have a big long piece of pipe like this, maybe parents, some family member could cut them down to smaller pieces, and then you could have these around to make them. And they're good because it takes a little bit of grip to pull them apart. Some thinking, which I was not thinking at first, and yeah, these are great fun to play with. And I just saw these laying around right here. I have some marbles. These are magnetic marbles, like made of steel. So once they did perhaps get this put it together. Something like this. Make a game out of it. Whatever loose parts you can find that that can be made to play together. This would occupy you, and you have a lot of fun doing this. So that little jar the little container that I had right here, it's full of steel ball bearings, magnet pieces, and magnets are always fun to play with. I just had these, again, they were in my tool chest. You might have some of these. If you don't have these, look on your refrigerator. All those things you hold papers up and drawings and everything, you can use those. I just happen to have these laying around because, yeah, I just happen to have a lot of junk. I made little holders so you can hold on to these, pick these things up. And again, the steelies can be used in other games too. But I had a whole bunch of these steelies, all these different things. And again, the lid keeps everything there from rolling all over the place. It's nice to keep everything there. All right, let's get these, put them away. Another thing I found were these little paper clip things. They're like clamps. Fine motor skills for squeezing these things together. The bigger ones are harder. These are a little bit easier. And the little dinky ones, halfway in between. You can use these along with popsicle sticks, other little things around the house, anything you can find. Clamping them together to make whatever you like. There is a very unaerodynamic airplane, but nonetheless, fine motor skill, things around the house, excellent to play with. Okay, one of the games that we used to play around the in school was I used to call it like Escape from like Frog Island or Save the Chickens or anything like that. So essentially what I got were like popsicle sticks. Maybe get a few more. And you can use everyday items such as a cup of noodles. You can get your cup of noodles, put them together, make things like that. And where is my Pokemon Gengar at? Let's see. I'll have a mysterious hand come in here and hand me the Pokemon. Okay, so you can use, or using Gengar right here, it's a Pokemon. And what we can do is we can use Gengar to balance on the little structures that we made. This is nothing more than popsicle sticks and cup of noodles. Or you can use whatever type of thing, like a can of soup, anything like that. You could use, if you had these, you could use these and use them for the same thing. It's fun. A lot of time used. You can use them together. When you give them to the children, they're going to have fun playing with them one way or the other. So another thing that I found were just a bunch of loose fittings. Things like this laying around in my tool shed. This is, just from old water heater. Well, actually from a water heater that I was going to put in. And you can use these to screw in. plastic thing off. But anyway, you get the hang of it. You'll just put these together. They can put these things in. It's fine motor skill. Get the mechanical sense of doing things. They're all fun to play with. All right, and let's see. A lot of my friends like to play with blocks. I have these little pieces of wood that I had laying around the house. Use them for spacers. These are great because for a couple things. You can use them to build with. These are shims from what you're going to put in like cabinets or anything like that. Very small on one end and bigger, but you can use them to build with. This is a piece of sandpaper. I would, before they started playing with them, I would double check the edges. You can even have them go along, the children go along and sand them up to make them smooth. So no splinters. Thank you. No splinters. And then they can use these to build with. These are great. A lot of my friends, we have a block area and we don't have any blocks around the house anywhere. You can make your own. If you don't have any blocks around the house to build with, again, we can go back to our cup of noodles. Cup of noodles are great because they can stack up. They don't really weigh a lot. Unlike cans might be a little bit heavy, but you can always limit how high they can build. Remember, we can always put limits and boundaries on everything that we do. Yeah, building with a cup of noodles. And then the best part about it is after you're done, you can be like, lunchtime! Oh, my last thing I was going to go over was I have paper clips. So even like getting a bunch of paper clips together, you could link these up together to make a necklace, a bracelet, some kind of a chain. And if you really want to get involved in this, you could make patterns. 2 of these, 2 of these, and then a blue. So have them make repeating patterns with them. That's one way of you could use these, and then the other one would be making the things, linking them together. So these are some things that you can make with just the items around your house. Have fun. This is Teacher Julian saying goodbye. I'll see you later.